Hello friends, in this video we will install Django and we will create our first Django project, Hello World. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, I already opened Django projects documentations. You can see, I am here, how to install Django on Windows. I am on Windows, so I'm gonna install it on Windows. But you can do it on Linux or Mac. The process is gonna be almost the same. Okay, the first thing we need to do is install Python. Okay, so if you do not have Python installed, go to python.org/downloads, and I already have it open, and then you pick your versions from there. So I would prefer Python 3.7.7, so I am gonna download it. So I'm gonna download this installer. I already have it downloaded, so let me open that. Okay, as you can see, this is the one I have just downloaded, and all I'm gonna do is double click and it will start installation. Okay, so I will install now with a regular setup. I'm not gonna change or make any customization to the setup, but before I click on install now, I want to make sure that I check this checkbox, add Python 3.7 to path. So if we do it right now, then we do not have to add Python to the path after the installation is done. So I would also recommend you guys to please check it. Otherwise, you may not find Python on the command prompt or Windows PowerShell or any kind of terminal. So you do make sure you check this one. Okay, after this is checked, I'm just gonna click on install now, and it might take some time to install it. Okay, I'll come back once Python is installed. Okay, so setup was successful. That means Python has been installed successfully. Now I'm gonna open Windows PowerShell, and then we'll check if the Python is available over there or not. So I'll open PowerShell. If you do not have Windows PowerShell, you can always use CMD. Most of the commands are same. There might be a little bit of difference, but you should be able to follow along. Okay, so in order to check Python, I'm gonna type Python and then space hyphen versions. So now you can see that Python 3.7.7. so this is the one we have just installed. So Python is installed and available in my system right now. The next thing that I want to do is I want to install virtual env. So this is the package that I want to install. So I will use this virtual env to create virtual environment, and that way I would be able to isolate all of the Django projects, and I can keep all of the dependencies independent of each other. Okay, so first thing I need to do is I need to copy and paste so that I can install virtual env. So I'll go to the command prompt again and then just paste it over here, and it should install virtual env. Okay, it says requirement already satisfied. Okay, maybe I installed it earlier, but if you do not have it installed, please go ahead and install it. Okay, once this is done, now we are ready to create virtual environment, and once the virtual environment is done, we will install Django and create our first project. Okay, so I want to create a virtual environment into a C drive to a specific folder. So let me go there. So first I move to D drive, and then I move to Django project folder, and here I want to create a folder for this demonstrations. Okay, so new item, and then I call it example, and then so example is gonna be my folder name, and then I have to specify the item type. Item type is directory. So you can see that the example folder has been created. Let me go there. Okay, so now here I want to create virtual environment. So in order to create virtual environment, so this is the command, virtual env, and then the name of the virtual environment, I just want to give it env. Okay, and then press enter. It should create momentarily. Okay, so virtual environment has been created. So let me check. Okay, so ls, so now I can see the env folder. Now let me activate this one. So if you are in Windows and using PowerShell, so this is the command. So name of the virtual environment, and just go to script and then activate. So that should activate our virtual environment. You can see this env is there within the parenthesis. That means we are within the virtual env. Okay, so now we are all set to install Django. Okay, so pip install Django. If I press enter, it's gonna install the latest versions available at this moment. But if you want to specify a specific versions, then you can use double equal to and then just mention the version you want to install. So let me install Django 3.0. So it might take a few minutes to install it, and it will also install few dependency libraries. Okay, so Django has been installed successfully. So let me check it. So if it is installed Django successfully, then this command should be available, Django admin, and then space hyphen versions. So that should give me the Django versions. You can see that Django version is 3.0. This is what we have just installed. So you can see we have used Django 3.0 over here. Okay, so now we have Django available. So in order to create a Django project, we just need to write a command over here. Okay, so I'm gonna create a Django project in the same directory within example. So the command is Django admin start project, and then the name of the project, I just give it a core. So that should create a Django project, and let me open VS Code here. So we are now within the VS Code. So we have two folders, and the core, which is nothing but the Django project, and env is nothing but the virtual environment folder. Okay, so let's see what all we have within core. So you can see we have another folder called core within core, and then we have a manage.py file. This file is very important. This is nothing but a utility file in Django. We will use manage.py file in order to do a lot of things. Say for example, start creating an app, starting a development server, and so many other things. We are not going to modify this manage.py file, but it has to be there. Okay, and now within core we have a few Python files. We have dunder init file. So this is, as you already know, that this is something we need in order to make this core folder as a module, and asgi and wizgi is basically required when we deploy the project, but this is something we do not need at this moment, so let it be there. The most important part is the settings.py file. This is the settings file of the Django. So here we do mention all of the settings that we need to have for our project. Okay, one of the most important setting is debug equals to true or false. So by default we always have debug equals to true. So, and this is very helpful. So when we developing our Django project, if we make any mistake or something goes wrong, and if we keep the debug equals to true, then Django will help us with other informations, and that would help us debug what went wrong and how we can rectify it. Allowed host is basically we want to specify all of the hosts that we want to allow. Installed app, these are the pre-installed app. Let it be there. We are not going to make any modifications or add anything, but later on when you guys create an additional app, so that app has to be added in within the install app list. So there are other things. You can see that the root URL conf is basically core.url. So this basically refers to this urls.py file. Let me just delete this comment. Okay, so it already has a URL pattern. So it says that admin /. So that means if we go to domain and then type admin /, then it should show something. So there would be an admin page. If we create users and all those things, then admin page will be available. We're not gonna do it today though. So let us now actually run the development server and then see what is there. Okay, so in order to run the development server, we have to use this manage.py file. Okay, so that means we have to go to a folder where this manage.py file is there. Okay, so go to core. Okay, and then if I ls, you can see that we have this manage.py file. So now in order to run the development server, just type python manage.py and then run server, one word. So it has already started the development server. It says that the development server is running at this URL. So this is nothing but our local host. So if I just copy and paste it in the URL, so this is something we do not need. So let me close all these things. So let me paste it over here and see what we have. Okay, so you can see that it's basically a Django default page. It says that our installation is successful, and we are seeing this page because we have kept debug equals to true and we haven't configured anything in the URL, or we haven't modified or added our own apps. Okay, so there are a few links up there: Django community, a polling app, a Django documentations. I have already created a short video on polling app. So I have created a polling app which is nothing but this example, but I have slimmed it down a little bit so that it's easy to follow. You can watch those videos as well. I'll put the link in the descriptions below. Okay, so now all I want is I want to have hello world text written instead of this Django things. Okay, so in order to do that, first we have to tell Django that we have to define the URL. So we'll go to path, and then since we are going to modify this one and then the same path, so this is nothing but just the local host, and we do not have anything after the local host. That means I just have to keep it blank or none, and then a view. Okay, and let's not forget the comma at the end. So this is just a list, and we have to have a comma to separate different path. Okay, so now this thing does not exist yet. We have to make it exist. So all I'll do is I'll create a views.py file, and I will define this index over there. Okay, so let me save it first, and if I go here okay, views.py, and here I want to define that view, which is function based view. So this is the this request has to be passed. So this is kind of compulsory, and then we'll just return something, and we'll return from HTTP response. And the text that we want to display. Hello world. This is my first Django project. Okay, of course we have to import it from Django. From Django.shortcuts, shortcuts, and then import p HTTP response. Okay, so now this index has to be imported in our URL because we have used it, but we haven't defined it here or imported here. So since this views.py is on the same folder, so I'm going to use views import this index, and I guess that should be all. If I haven't made any mistake, then it should render everything fine. So yeah, now you can see the development server is still running. So if I go here and refresh this page, okay, now you can see that I misspelled my, okay, let me fix that quickly. This is my first one. Okay. Let me kill the server and restart it. Yep, so now it has been fixed. So you can see that we have successfully created our first Hello World project in Django. So this is all I wanted to show in this video. If you like my videos, please do share them, like them, and please do not forget to subscribe, and please do let me know in the comment section if you want to see any specific thing. I will try to make those videos as well. I'll see you in my next video.